I've had a lot of requests to do the Abbot, and now I'm doing it. The moment that I started being desperate for ideas, we've had about 10 or 15 just suddenly come in through comments in Discord. So thank you for that. Today I'm going to be talking about my experiences with the Abbot, as an extension, some stuff on how to kind of like, not only changes that I made to him, but how he fits into the larger narrative, which he normally doesn't, but I kind of improved on that a little bit. In any case, today I'm talking about the Abbot. I've had a lot of people ask me about this fellow, and I think that the main thing to kind of understand with him is that he believes he's good. He's a fallen angel type dude, right? But he doesn't know that. He thinks he's the paragon of Lathander, gonna go save the freaking world. So that's what he's trying to do in his own weird ass way. His relationship with the mongrel folk is pretty interesting, and frankly I have nothing to improve on there in that aspect, or at least add to. The mongrel folk's existence and his stance on them is kind of cool as hell. Like how he just kind of said yes to this stupid thing and now he can't escape it. He's gone a bit crazy because of it, but he's pretending that he hasn't. He's perfectly fine in his mind. So yeah, that's the first thing to kind of keep in mind. Moving on to some more important things. Another aspect of this is that the Morning Lord is like the faith of Barovia, right? And if you look into it a little bit more, the Morning Lord, in essence, is a slightly twisted and simplified version of Lathander, who is probably the god of the most stuff in Faerun. Fertility, sunlight, happiness, joy, fucking all sorts. And I think Barovia has somewhat condensed it down. I imagine that the Abbot is quite frustrated with this, and that when he came into Barovia, he was a man of faith of Lathander, let's say, and they come and everyone's just like, what the hell is a Lathander? And he's like, or at least back then he was like, ah, I see, changes have been made, but now he's like, everyone's stupid, they're not listening to me, you bastards. I think that also I played him as pretty ignorant to other people's religions. Like I imagine when he first arrived, he was very open to it, but since he's only really been in the presence of the Morning Lord and Mother Night, his view has probably contorted to fit that, if you know what I mean. Like, he now most likely only really cares for the Morning Lord. So with an interaction that one of my players had with him, they're a cleric of a similar sun god, and they were like, hey, I'm gonna bless you by my god. And he was like, no, thank you, I'm just gonna stop you right there. I'll be alright. You go take your religion somewhere else. And that was kind of a moment of, oh, the Abbot's a douche. Another way to emphasize he's a bit of a douche and a bit of a weirdo is his relationship with Vasilka, which it doesn't tell you much about, because Vasilka is a flesh golem. But Vasilka is noticeably, from a distance at least, a regular woman that's just a bit hollow. Characters within 5 feet of her can obviously tell that she is a flesh golem and she's been stitched together. But other than that, upon first meeting her and him, they would imagine that she is a pretty silent woman who the Abbot is intending to give to Strahd as a gift and maybe replace the bride. That's kind of the Abbot's plan to try and, I don't know, save Barovia, is to make Strahd happy. Which is a viable plan, but impossible. Like, Strahd's too much of a dick. So I played the Abbot as kind of like hopeless, but he's still trying. Like, he's still trying to find a solution, but he feels like there's no way out. So his solutions generally either turn on him, or he just gets wrapped up in them too much. And that's what Vasilka is. In my game, Vasilka was a decision that he made, that he got attached to, and now doesn't really want her to leave, I think. He's still going to ask the party for the wedding dress and take it, and then be like, oh, thank you. And then probably would just kind of keep hold of it and make Vasilka look nice. And it never got properly explored, but if it did, the Abbot would have been a bit creepy towards her in a way. Like, weirdo person who's starting to catch feelings for a stitched together flesh, which is very weird and very creepy. And even if the party never figure out by not looking at her too much, they're still going to think he's an absolute creep for being a bit, you know, Someone else had asked about his relationship with Esmeralda, or not necessarily relationship, more just how they would interact. And I think that, so Esmeralda walked up, and since she's a very smart person, her stats are insane, Jesus, she perhaps used the Abbot's overly kind tendencies to find a place to rest that's a bit more safe, if you know what I mean. The Abbot most likely allowed her in, invited her, due to loneliness, right? He doesn't get much talk other than from, you know, half animal people and his weird flesh golem that doesn't talk to him. So I imagine he would be quite lonely, and Esmeralda come in and be like, hey, can I chill here for a bit? He'd probably be like, yeah, and it would be like this really over-the-top, like, host, if you will. Perhaps you could have kind of a relationship where when they arrive, he's like, hey, I'll give you guys a banquet. I have another guest here. If you wouldn't mind, I'll bring her down and we can all have one together. And then the creepy dinner can be had with Esmeralda there as well, and that can be a pretty interesting introduction to her, where she kind of discusses who she is to the Abbot, and he kind of it would show both of the characters' motivations and stuff, because they clash very well. They want the same thing, but they want to do it opposite ways, completely opposite. And I think that's a neat little interaction to have if you wanted. But still, if you intend to like do a meeting with the Abbot where everyone's speaking to him, maybe don't make that the focus. After all, the players should be the main ones contributing to the conversation, and there shouldn't just be 5 minutes of him talking to Esmeralda, because one, the players are going to be real uncomfortable and weirded out, not in like a, oh wow, this Abbot guy's really creepy, but in a, hey DM, can you stop talking to yourself way. And the second thing is, you're a DM and you're talking to yourself for 5 minutes. I've done that before, don't get me wrong, but don't put that on yourself. Some people have suggested maybe changing the Abbot into something else. Like one of the comments I saw said that maybe they could make him female. That's absolutely fine, that's cool by me. I want to run Curse of Strahd with a female Strahd at one point. That would be fun. You can change the genders of any character and anything. It won't affect the story too much, unless it's like a real traditional type story, really. So yeah, go for it. Make the Abbot whatever you want him to be, similar to any NPC in any module. They're just there to be, you know, there for the story, right? NPCs are not there to play a character. That's just not their goal. So mess with them. Do whatever you want with them. Doesn't matter. And that's me done talking about the Abbot. If you thought that this was helpful at all, make sure you like so that we know that you thought that. And subscribe if you want more. The series has been going on for quite a while. We have a big old archive of stuff up at this point that you can check out. And subscribe because we make these videos every week. You can also comment. We can talk about stuff in the comments, or you can join our Discord, which is also in the description. And yeah, next one will probably be about old Bone Grinder, because we had one of our first ever comments was asking us that, and I still haven't done it. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one. Bye. This is a request from the Discord. You're welcome. Look at the camera. What do you want to say to the audience? Subscribe to Magical Tea Party. Whoa, she said it, guys. She said it. Not me.
You're not stealing it. I've told you that's my favourite one.
I'm not, don't worry. Fuck off the aeroplane. I've had like 8 requests to do the Abbot at this point, and I gotta do it. Abbot, take 2, turn over.